Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Sunday Sharpe, do 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 do. Hello, hello, hello. Nobody here at the moment. Oh well. Ooh, we have someone. Result. So, whoever is here, hope you've had a good week and all is going well. You're happy, healthy, and safe, and not sick to the eye teeth of hearing Badil, Skinner, and the Lightning Seeds, and everyone else who thinks they can sing. If you're not in England, don't worry about that bit. Yeah, football. And this coming from someone who used to love football and has got sick and tired over the years. So, how has the week been in the fish room? Some good news, some bad news. Not bought or sold anything this week, so yeah, it's been a relatively quiet week all around from what I've been doing, which is very little. So we'll start on the bad news. So the 5 where are they in there? The 5 dwarf neon rainbows are now 1 that are in there for quarantine. Yes, that's 4 of them have kicked the bucket in the space of a week. So we're going to leave that one in there for a bit longer just in case. And 2 of the 5 in there have also kicked the bucket. It means I'm going to have a look into parameters and conditions and stuff. Oh, hello, my fish tanks aquatics, and hello, Brian. Oh dear, that's not good. That really does suck hard. Ouch. Fortunately, no heat waves here. Been a bit warm, but nothing spectacular. In fact, we've had heavy rain the last couple of days. Riverside Road in Norwich just became a river. And on the upside, fish room wise, an entire opposite to what you've had, Brian, my blue dreams have finally had babies. So we have baby blue dreams in the tank. So hopefully we can get that one up as a colony and established and start selling in a few months at least. The Skittles tank's still going nuts. There's I could probably sell 30 to 50 a week out of there quite easily. No new baby bristly noses, but again, moved them all about a bit, upset them a bit. Things change, so not entirely worried about that. Saying other than the dwarf neon rainbows or Praecox rainbows, whichever you want to call them, which I'm guessing just don't like my water, or both places I got them from got theirs from the same place and there's something wrong with them, but we shall see. Hello, shrimping around. How the devil are you? So yeah, other than that, everyone else is doing fine. Hello, Priscilla. Mwah. Lurking and doing stuffs. Yes. As anyone who has the vaguest interest in English European football, yeah, we're going to try and avoid talking about that today, because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm sick of bloody hearing about it. Howdy, Bob. How you doing? Hope all is going well with you. And the Ark. Yeah, exactly. No football. We've all had enough of it. let's just get to Monday and everything will go back to normal. Patty, my darling, how the devil art thou? I'm okay. Fat, hairy, ugly, untalented, but other than that, I'm all right. And yes, we're on a relentless this week. The lack of a job is starting to tell. I think I just heard a rumble of thunder off in the distance as well. On the way to Nashville with Tennessee Aqua. Cool. Make sure you get the country on. And g'day, Tennessee Aqua. Although if you're both in the car, don't whichever one of you is driving, don't type. Yes. Bob and Bobbert. Yeah. Too many names for me to try and remember. I suck with names. I barely remember my own some days. You know, it's one of those things. Don't do drugs, kids. It's true, it messes with your long-term memory. Now I can remember random stuff that there's no real need to, but I forget people's names. You know, it's just the way it is. I just realise I'm sat here in the dark. Truck's driving itself. Good. You got the old knee steering effect, have you, Bob? Switzerland did better than ever. Well, I don't know if can you be neutral at football like you are in wars? Fishy mum. Hello. Yeah. So I hope you guys have got plenty to talk about, because I've had a week of doing very little. I mean, the highlight of my week was moaning at the council on the phone about not emptying my garden waste bin. Seriously. Yes. And the excuse they gave was it's too heavy. I thought, well, if you emptied it more regularly, it wouldn't be so heavy. Oh. Yeah, so it's actually evening over here, Patty. But yeah, I'm used to different days and times, and sometimes I join streams and it's on a different day to what I'm in, and so morning, afternoon, evening. Don't worry me. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, Mary and I went to a garden centre today to get some flowers or plants. So when you go to a garden centre to buy plants, you don't go to buy gardens. Yeah, very strange. I'm not sure, fortunately or unfortunately, because it's the closest garden centre to me. They don't sell fish. Their pet section is tiny. They don't even have there's not even a tank. So yeah, so I don't know whether I saved money there or I didn't buy anything. Not entirely sure which it was. I think we'll go with saving money. You know how it is. If you go in somewhere and it's a fishy shop, you buy something, don't you? You've gone there, you might as well get something. It doesn't necessarily mean it have to be fish, but you come out with some food, or if you're Ed, you come out with a piece of wood. or another net, or it was just a net or a pack of airline or something like that. You come out with something. So save myself money. Although, but by not going to the LFS, I cost myself money because I could have sold some fish or shrimp. But we can't have it all, much as we'd like. So yeah. What else? What else has been going on this week? Shadow's been stomping about upstairs quite well. Peppercorns are still doing well, and I want to see if I can wangle a fish store tour of what is my LFS. I would have to break it up into several sections, otherwise it'll be one hell of a long video. Problem is I've got to get there on a day when they're quiet, which is during the week, basically. My pet, hello, my dear. Yeah, because I was sort of thinking about it earlier. I'd have to do one video on the freshwater section, one on the saltwater section, which is actually the same size as the freshwater section. Then I'd do one on the dry goods and tanks and stuff, all that kind of stuff that they actually have. I'd do one on the furries and featheries, because who doesn't like cute bunnies and pretty birdies? And then I'd probably have to do one on the burn it with fire section, and maybe one on the outdoor or pond type fish section. It's a big place, trust me. A lot of people go there at the weekends, as it's basically a free to enter zoo. It's you get families wandering around there and they've got no intention of buying anything. It's just somewhere to go and something to do that isn't wandering around a garden centre. It's basically a free zoo, and the Shelleys are currently aquascaping again. So yeah, I'd have to do several videos on that, which I'm not complaining. It saves me having to think of subjects for videos, but just means I've got to get there on a day they're quiet, so during the week, and I suppose I should ask for permission first. I can't see as I'd say no, but yeah, a lot of places, I say a lot, most places I have asked if they mind if I filmed a video have said no filming. Why? It's free advertising for you. Yeah, Ricky's here as well. Hello. All these new people turning up. I don't know. Good job. I'm actually starting to learn people's names now, really. Yeah, I was saying, for the people who are new here, it's a random stream. We talk fish, movies, music, food. Although we try and steer clear of food because otherwise everyone gets hungry. Paranormal, whatever. I'll quite happily talk about anything, pretty much. We just try and avoid politics and religion. And we are kind of PG-13. So crudeness is okay. But you know how I am normally in most people's streams. Crudeness and humor is allowed. Obviously smoking. Not that I can see if anyone's smoking or not. If you are, give us a thumbs up if you can manage to do it without coughing your lungs up. Now I've got. I think I'm pretty sure why there aren't any or many English people in here today. And Esse's here. Hello. Yeah. Smokers uniting. Oh god. It's amazing I actually get any of my streams monetized because I'm smoking in them all. Ah, Aaron, there is a Brit. Aha. How you doing, Aaron? I actually spent some time in the cave this week. When I say cave, I mean man cave, not an actual cave. Well, if I had an actual cave, I would spend quite a bit of time down there. The modelling cave, as it were, or dumping ground. Spiderweb infested mess. Whichever you want to look at it, really. Yeah, so did a bit of painting and a bit of sticking, so that's always good. How come one of the 9 nations are banning smoking in pubs? Well, I reckon we should just ban pubs and being in public, really. But yeah. Well, if they do ban smoking in public, then yeah, I won't be going out much. Drilling as a micro box came after 3 months of waiting. Yes, the joys of COVID, Brexit. Yeah. All of it. Yeah, Justin, get used to it. Yeah, exactly. You used to better smoke anywhere. I mean, you used to go to the cinema, kiddies movie, it didn't matter. Yeah. And you'd be sat there, and if you're near the back, you could barely see the screen because of the fog of smoke in front of you. That's why war movies used to be really popular, because the smoke didn't make any difference. People thought it was meant to be there. And Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Yeah, everyone complains about cigarettes. Thing is, though, cigarettes produce much smaller clouds than vapes do. Vapes that bug me. Oh, speaking of darlings, Marit, my lovely, how the devil are you? Mahoosive hugs and smoochies. Fist bumps for Dan. Soviet Union, you can shoot up smoke weed as long as you've worked. Yeah, exactly. Mother Russia. You drive strong tank. Yes. Oh, that is dirty Fuhrer fish style tank. Cool. And yeah, that's going to upset the people who took to vaping because they couldn't smoke in public or couldn't smoke in places. Or enough of them got upset when vaping got banned on public transport and stuff. Yeah. So I have thought about doing a tank in that style, but yeah, it's not really necessary for me, for my tanks. Most of them are just too small for it to be worthwhile. Although I think I'm going to call it the Chattanooga Ed style now, because I saw Ed doing one on his stream the other day. So I don't have human. Oh, Dan's human fry, not mine. Yeah, I don't have any that I know of. And there may be one or two kicking about that just don't know who their dad is. But I can't remember who the mum was, so, you know. I was drunk at the time. It was the 90s. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? It's kind of like the, are we there yet? Are we there yet? I'm all right, thank you, Marriott. Sick of hearing about things coming home, so hence the title of it's Going Rome. But how are you, Mid-Erie? Is the salt grinder empty yet? Yeah. To anyone who doesn't know what Dan's on about with salt grinders, video I put up yesterday, I showed where we'll get pellet food for our fish, and sometimes you may want to feed those pellets to fish that are smaller and the pellets are too big. So I've got a pardon me, salt grinder. You buy them in the grocery store, in my case Lidl's, which is basically sea salt, and you just pop the top off, flip it over, and crunch, crunch, crunch. Salt ready for your chips. But I've been looking at getting a pepper grinder or salt and pepper grinder to do that with pellets, to grind them up. And let's be honest, all the ones I've seen ain't exactly cheap. I mean, they're not expensive, but sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 plus pounds to get a bloody pepper grinder. I happened to be in Lidl's, and I had the salt ones, and it's like I think it was something like 79p. So I just got one. Use a screwdriver, pop the lid and the grinder attachment thing off. Poured the salt into a pot, which I can use to sprinkle the salt on my tea, and then stuck some pellets in there. Job done. I've got pellet grinder and I've got salt. Not that I'm tight or anything, but and Aaron's pie, she's got the electric ones. They're okay until that one time you really, really want salt on your dinner, and you hit the button, it goes, and the battery dies. Yeah, they're annoying. And yeah, that's a modeler's brain. Yes. Modeler's brain, seeing something, and you get to a point with scale modeling or whatever kind of modeling you do, plastic toy kits you put together, not standing there striking a pose. You sort of look for things that you can repurpose. So I bought aquarium gravel way before I had an aquarium, and sand, because I could use it on models. Somewhere in my diorama bits box there is oregano, thyme, sorry, oregano for the Americans. Oh, that's good news, Marriott. Final scans and stuff done. That's always good. Was his head empty, or did it have something in it? Sorry. Last time I went for a head scan, that's generally what people ask me. Did they find anything in there? Hello, Deborah Dee. Modeler's brain, builder's belly, dome like metal. I'm getting there with the dome. I'm working on that. So it's like people go, oh, no, you should just shave it all off, shave it all off. But no, I've still got some hair left. I'm making the most of it. let me enjoy it while I have it. When I don't have it, then yeah, I might. Although I probably won't shave it all off because the state of my skull. So many dents, dents. That one. Yes. Marriott likes this one as well. I'm pretty sure it probably came from either Amazon or Redbubble. Probably Amazon. Although this is Mary, so God knows where she gets her presents from me from. Typical woman. And I don't mean to sound sexist, but you know, there is a divide between the two genders. No, she'll see something in, say, November, well, maybe not November, like January. She'll see something and think, oh, that'll be a good present for John for his birthday or whatever. You know, men being men. The joke about us buying flowers in a petrol station at sort of 9 o'clock at night for an anniversary or something, either that day or the next day. Yeah, it's a joke for a reason. It's true. It happens. Yeah. I'm pretty good. I try and remember these things. Go, right, so it's Mary's birthday on the 9th of December, so I've got to make sure I start getting stuff. So I've got everything ready for the week before. Nah, you never miss anything interesting around here, Aaron. Just me trying to explain what modelers are. Fish Dynamics, hello. It's always good to get new people around. More newbies, the better. More people I can corrupt. Sorry, yeah. That's just me. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things with the aquarium, going back to the aquarium pebbles and modelers buying stuff. You know, stuff we can reappropriate for other uses. It's a good skill to have. Burnt the baking tray, but not the chicken. No offense, dude, I'd rather eat the baking tray. I lived on a chicken farm for 7 years and worked in a chicken factory for 7 years. I don't eat chicken. Once you've once you spent 14 years surrounded by them in various stages of life, death, decomposition, and being chopped apart and gutted, and yeah. And I don't normally chain smoke, and it's not a nerves thing either. This is Sunday mornings. I'm normally pretty busy, so I don't get much time to sit down and smoke. And Sunday afternoons, I'm with my better half, Mary, so I don't really smoke much then. Yeah, Spaz is no longer here. Spaz left. Was it last week? No, the weekend before. Spaz went. I've not heard if the shop sold him or whether he ate what they put in the tank, what was in the tank they put him in. I think he probably did eat some of his new tank mates. Some of them did look Spaz snack sized. Oh yeah, yeah. The Poundland makeup section is always a good place to go for modelling materials. You don't have to hand in your man cut. I mean, Poundland's a good place for stop because you get the cheap old disposable shot glasses, which you can use for mixing paints and storing PVA glue and anything like that in while you're using it. There's normally some kind of pastel set or chalk set that you can use for weathering, or the various brushes. I mean, the eyeshadow brushes are indispensable. Yeah, the makeup brushes, everything. There's just so much usable in it. Even just damn cocktail sticks and cotton wool buds. You know, it's all useful and a hell of a lot cheaper than buying it specific. You know, it's be the same thing as if you're buying shells for a shell dweller tank, to put it into fish keeper parlance. If you go into a fishy shop and you buy shells that are labelled as shell dweller shells, you'll pay a lot more than if you go to a restaurant supplies shop and buy escargot shells. You can get 50 of them for £5 or £6 or $7 or $8 rather than paying $7 or $8 for 5 or 6. Yeah. Yeah, I don't do burnt food either. My definition of burnt is completely different to some people's definition of burnt. Some people's definition of undercooked meat is what I call burnt. If you get a steak and they put it on one of them char grilly things and it gets a pattern on the outside of it, it's overcooked. A good steak, you should still be able to hear the moo in the distance. The echoes of the final moo should still be going around. Why is Google Chrome telling me why does it wait till half hour in the stream? The computer's been on for 3/4 of an hour, and now it's suddenly giving me a whole bunch of YouTube notifications that I already knew about. Bare metal foil, hardware, aluminium foil for less than an eighth of the roll for double the price of. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I do have some bare metal foil because it does come in handy. It's sticky backed foil, basically tin foil. I've got like the copper and the brass and things like that. One of these days I will get round to foiling an entire aircraft, because you cannot get metallic paint that is actually proper. I still haven't figured it out, so aluminium tape. Yeah, I mean it's the same with the copper. You can get the copper slug tape from a garden centre for a fraction of the price of a sheet of copper bare metal foil, simply because it's marketed to a specific market. A lot of these things are. I'm busy watching YouTube and forget I was something in the oven. Yeah, my best one was I stuck on a couple of bits of fish under the grill. Literally 2 minutes later, forgot I'd done it and laid down for a nap. About an hour and a half later, I woke up and wondered why the house was full of smoke. Suffice to say, I didn't have fish for tea that day, or dinner, whatever it was. Yeah, that was a bit well done, even for anyone's standards. Luckily, nothing caught fire because I had literally, I think that day I'd cleaned the grill pan out. So, yeah, house full of smoke. I mean, how the hell do you boil in the bag rice? I don't do boil in the bag, I do microwave rice. But yeah, house full of smoke, yeah. And not for the usual reasons. What a rice cooker and proper rice. Yeah, doing a rice in a rice cooker is always better. But me feeding just me, and if it takes me longer than 10 or 15 minutes to put a meal together, it's just not worth the hassle. Ooh, pardon me, it's poop time. Exactly. Properly cooked rice is completely different to other rice. It's just, it's like, what? That's what it's supposed to be like? Oh, wow. I didn't realise. The worst one is people who cook rice for so long it goes all soft and soggy, and it's like people who overcook pasta and boil it and boil it. And I think it's an English thing because it doesn't change colour. They don't realise it's cooked. There's so many people that boil vegetables for about half an hour. Like, that's been done for a long while. Forget the warm things. Yeah. Just rice. Gonna be just standard long grain white, I'm guessing, Aaron. Maybe pilaf or basmati. Thai rice. Yeah, so I just buy the microwave pouches, not even the Uncle Ben's ones, just whichever the own brand is. You know, 35p, that's plenty good enough for me. Especially once you slather it with either gravy or something else. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, that's 15 minutes. I can't be bothered to wait when it can do it in 2 minutes in the microwave. Oh, brown rice. Yeah, I do have brown rice occasionally, but I, because it's the pouches, golden vegetable, egg fried, or spicy Mexican normally. Try them all, but got 10 kilo. Aqua Funk, there's the Funk Meister. Jolly Sharpe into your fish freaks and geeks in the chat, lurking and cleaning the tank. Good to see you, Funk. Hope you're all well and good. Sorry, I haven't been around for your streams recently. I haven't been around for many people's streams recently, but that's because I'm kind of sleeping more normally these days. I'm not awake at either silly late or silly early in the morning. Yeah, I'm a lazy cook. Let's be honest. Generally the most I do actual cooking wise would be boil some noodles, stick some meat in a George Foreman, chuck some in the microwave, or make myself scrambled eggs. But I don't do that in the microwave. I do that in the frying pan, and I add cheese and all sorts of goodness to it. Don't get the white rice because the last pack was moving around. Yeah, that can happen. It's the reason I don't buy potatoes anymore, because the last time I bought a bag of potatoes, I had potatoes, put the bag of spuds in the cupboard, and completely forgot I had potatoes until I went into the kitchen one day and wondered why the cupboard door was open. I had potato plants growing in my cupboard. Basically, a couple of them had rotted, and the other spuds started growing in the rotten dead spud. So yeah, I had potato plants forcing the door open on the cupboard. Scene from Lost Boys. I just mean cooking anyway. Is a scene from a horror movie. One of my favourite meals to make myself. I guarantee no one else who would eat. Leftover rice, couple of spoonfuls, 2 eggs over medium. Yeah, and then I would put gravy on that as well because I'm weird. I like gravy. That's English gravy, not what Americans call gravy. Yeah, my favourite meal that I do myself, I call it pot o' slop. It is a tin of Campbell's meatballs in gravy, patch of microwave rice, small tin of sweet corn, and more gravy, and some cheese. You stick the meatballs in the bowl, microwave them for 2 minutes, pull them out. While that's happening, you're making the gravy. Pour the gravy over the meatballs just to get extra gravy because more gravy is more good. Stick that back in the microwave for a minute. While that's cooking, pop the lid on the sweet corn tin, pop it a little bit, just stand it upside down over the plug hole in the sink to drain. Then ping, take the meatballs out, put the rice in for 2 minutes, chop some cheese up, just some chunks of extra mature cheddar. By the time the rice is done, you pour the sweet corn into the bowl, you pour the rice into the bowl, you chuck the cheese in, you give it a good mix around, and you fill the 1 litre bowl or 2.2 pint bowl, and you just sit there and eat it. It's very nice. Hong Kong Cantonese, yeah, I love all that. So I don't get leftovers. And it explains why I'm the shape I am. I don't get leftovers. I just view things as a single serving size. No. This cake serves 12. No, it doesn't. It serves 1. You open the packet, that's enough for 1 person in my book. Yeah, that's why I'm fat. And massively unfit. But hey, no sense of smell and a very little sense of taste doesn't help with the food either. As I like very strong flavours, and I am very sensitive to consistencies. So just before the veg goes off, tomato, veg stir fry, veg cut. Yeah, I find the veg doesn't go off because I just buy tins of it. You just leave it on the shelf for about 3 years. It's fine. And I think I've got a tin of sliced mushrooms up there that's about 3 years old. That's perfectly fine. One of these days I'll get around to eating it. Yeah, fried rice is best with leftover rice. Yeah, I don't get leftovers. The only time I'll have leftovers is if I have a pizza. Because then I'll make myself leave a couple of slices. because there is nothing better for breakfast than pizza from the night before that's been sitting in the box on the sofa overnight. You just get up, get out of bed, come downstairs. Well, you have your pee, you come downstairs, have your first ciggy of the day, grab the pizza box, open it up, eat the last couple of slices, and you're sorted. I had kimchi in years, or me either. But I've got enough wind at the moment. I think pickled cabbage is probably a bad idea for me. Yeah, cabbage gives me wind, pickled stuff gives me wind. So pickled cabbage, I'm going to make my entire postcode or zip code uninhabitable. It's going to be national news. Do not go to Attleborough. Sharpe has bad wind. Yeah, I think probably all of us of a certain age grew up eating leftovers. That's why there are so many dishes. So, like egg fried rice, it's better with rice that is leftover rice, or bubble and squeak, or hash browns, or the list is endless of all these foods that, or meals that were designed to use leftovers. These days, people throw the leftovers in the bin. The most I ever get is if you get a slice of bread or a loaf of bread that's got an odd number of slices in it, and you got one left at the end. Conundrum when you get to the last two slices of pizza, soldier on or do. Yeah. And you see, the trick I find is to just buy a big pizza. Every food we eat, those poor man's. Yeah, it is. People go on about comfort food and whatever. No, comfort food is just good food. There's a reason it comforts us. It does what it should do. And that's another thing that bugs me these days. People who throw things out because it's gone by the use by date or the best before date. But yeah, no, you can't eat that bread. It's out of date. It's not stale and it's not gone furry. It's safe to eat. And people throw cheese out because it's got a little bit of mold on it. Penicillin mold, right? They'll throw cheddar cheese out because it's got penicillin mold spot on it. Now, rather than just cutting a bit off or whatever. And then they'll go out and they'll eat blue cheese. That's exactly the same mold. Yeah, as long as it tastes good. I mean, not for me, but give the food a sniff. Does it smell okay? Yes. Give it a squidge. Does it feel rotten? Has it turned green if it's not supposed to be green? All people. But people will throw things out because it's out of date. Yeah, and just because someone decided that's when that food might start going off, doesn't mean it is. It's like lemon juice. That's the one I keep coming back to. In the UK, lemon juice always goes out of date end of January. So that you buy a new bottle or squeezy lemon for Pancake Day in February. Oh, I always eat the bread. Yeah. Literally this week I finished my birthday cake. Right. don't anyone go saying happy birthday, because my birthday is the 7th of May. Right? God knows what preservatives they used in that cake. But the 7th of July, it was still fine. It wasn't even dry. I was like, what the hell? Now, well, I didn't even start eating it till June. Yeah, see you later, Dan. It's going Rome. It's going Rome. Have fun. Freeze pizza. So I don't even have a freezer. Aaron's putting on the egg fried rice. It's egg fried rice, you plick. Can't remember which one it was, but Lethal Weapon quote. Oh, Marritt's going to watch football as well. Now, you just going to eye up Jack Grealish. That's all you're doing. Oh dear, he does look like Winona, not Winona Ryder. Keira Knightley. Froze pie, froze pie. Apparently, one of the England midfielders is absolutely stunning and gorgeous and hot. I think he looks like Keira Knightley with a beard. So do a lot of people, because there's a lot of memes about it. Yeah, I don't do the frozen pie. If pie does not live long enough. And by that, I mean proper pie. Meat pie. Not nasty fruit pie. Oh. What a waste of pastry. Good old steak and ale or steak and kidney or whatever. Yeah, far better. Far better pie. Yeah, well, fish pie, but that doesn't have pastry. That's mashed potato. Just, yeah. Oh, pardon me. Things I don't eat. Fruit. Just don't do fruit. Some veg. Chicken. Oh, yeah. Shepherd's pie sandwiches are awesome. Or cottage pie. Basically the same thing. One's got beef, one's got lamb. Yeah, cottage pie's got beef in it. Then, yeah, got to be good mashed potato though. None of your nasty, lumpy, watery stuff. Got to be good, thick and unctuous, full of cream and cheese, and preferably bacon bits as well. Nom, 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 nom. See, what I would probably do would just be, I'd fry up some mince, get some microwave mashed potato, add extra cheese and butter to it, and then make some gravy and just have it on the plate. Basically the same thing as shepherd's pie, just without the veg. Yes, I am extremely unhealthy. But hey, I have a bowel condition that means if I eat healthy food, I get ill. So I actually had a specialist, an actual gut specialist, tell me it's best for me if I don't eat fruit and veg or don't eat a lot of fiber. Fair enough, doc. I'll avoid it. So, have we got anything other than food because I'm hungry. And I'm sure nobody wants to sit there and see me stuff my face. The other reason I'm smoking quite a bit is because I'm hungry. What have I had today? Oh yeah, slice of cake. That's all I've eaten so far today. And I've been up 13 hours, so eeny, meeny, miny. Have I got any other subjects to ramble on about? Yeah. This is it. If you start talking about food, you get hungry. And if you're hungry already, it's just a nightmare. And yeah, don't go shopping on an empty stomach either, because you'll buy a lot of food you didn't really need to buy. Cucumber crop up. Your plecos will be well fed then. I'm not going to ask what you've been putting in your mouth, Marek. I know what you're like. Cucumbers are pleco food in this house. I don't eat them. No, I just spotted something that's wrong. Ah, yeah, fish love fresh food. Bit of fresh fruit and veg. No, maybe not fruit, but definitely veg. You see, even Marek didn't tell me I'd forgotten to do that. Squash, yeah. I'm not going to eat that. Yes. Yeah, as I say, and the sad thing is that well known in town that if I go into one of the grocery stores, supermarkets, whatever, and get to the tills and there's a cucumber or a zucchini, courgette, squash, whatever in my shopping, 9 times out of 10, the person behind the till will go, that's your fish, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So how many fish tanks do you guys have? At the moment, I've got 14 up and running. Hello, Jess, Soxy lady. In the middle of your... Speaking of grocery shopping, that's normally what Jess does. Wander around the grocery store, listen to me waffle on about random things. Probably bought a load of stuff she didn't want either. Squash and onion. Yeah, onions I'll eat though, so I wouldn't feed the onions to the fish. Yeah, well, so we got the big one that you can see right there. 6 fry tanks. There's a tub at the bottom. There's a shrimp tank. You can just about see the light from down there. There's a shell dweller tank there, and bristlenose breeding tank over there. Hopefully Palliatus Cory breeding tank. Smaller flecks with the CPDs and pygmy cories and some shrimp in it, and then the blue dream shrimp tank as well. And then there's a pond in the back garden, which is home to 3 comets, 80,000 pond snails, about 20 frogs, and God knows what else. There's some newts in there as well, I think. Probably some other fish as well that made their way in there. Because before I redid the pond, because it sprung a leak and things went wrong, and just scrub it. There are actually some wild fish in there that made their own way in there on birds' feet, I'm guessing. One big, one medium. Yeah, one fish tank is one fish tank. Yeah, them's got 200-gallon tubs. Well, your 100-gallon tubs aren't that much smaller than my pond, so you know. But yeah, so it's 100 and something gallon pond that hasn't got a filter, and it doesn't get water changes, and it doesn't get fed. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Stay dry, Ricky. Thanks for showing up. Good to have you here. And don't buy anything you don't need in the store, okay? Stay away from the sweets aisles. Yeah, well, so and the thing is, now we're looking at 8s and 14s. Yeah, we aren't big. I know Amber unfortunately is having to downsize. I think Lucas Brett's got something like 300. Yeah, I mean, I know of people with a lot more tanks than me. But you know, if you got one tank, you got one tank. Great. If you got two, brilliant. Because there does come to a point where the maintenance on the tanks starts becoming a job. It starts becoming a chore. That's when you're starting to think about, do I really want more tanks? Yeah, sneaks up on you. Yeah, exactly, Deborah. You get. I did it. I mean, I've only been keeping fish 3 years. I got my first tank, the Fluval Flex. It's like brilliant, love it. It's awesome, great, love it. It's like, oh, then you see another fish and you think, oh, I want those. Oh, well, I can't really put them in that tank. That tank's rather full. I'm going to need another tank. So you get another tank to put that new fish in. And you realise there's something else you want, but you can't put it with either of any of the other fish you've got. So you're going to need another tank for that. And you decide you want shrimp, but if you put the shrimp in with any of the fish, they'll get eaten. So you need another tank for that. And then you get to a point, and then things start breeding, and you go, oh dear, I'm going to need a grow out tank. So you sort some kind of grow out tank or tub out. And then more things start breeding, and I need another grow out tub. Yeah, and then you end up with racks full of babies. 30 tanks would be a lot. And I'm thinking of getting another couple of shrimp tanks. Again, that is purely because I'm looking at trying to not necessarily just make a living purely off of fish breeding and selling, but the more I can do, the less I have to work. Yeah. And the less time we have to spend at work, the better. Because I mean, we're a bit low at the moment because I have been selling quite a lot on. I mean, for example, there's 40 Crebensis in there. And then lockdown comes and you're screwed. Yeah. There's 60 bristle noses in there. 40 bristle noses in there. One rainbow fish in there because that's a quarantine tank at the moment. 20 shell dwellers in there. That one's actually empty at the moment, but there's plecos going in it tomorrow. There's some bristlenose plecos in the tub at the bottom. Don't know how many. We'll find out when we sell them. But that's had anything up to 200 bristlenoses in it. If I could sell £900 worth of fish and shrimp a month, I wouldn't have to get a job. Heck, if I could make more money out of YouTube, I wouldn't have to sell as many either. Yeah, then the trick comes to what do you breed that the shops are going to want regularly, a lot of, that's actually worth breeding. Is in the UK, breeding guppies is pointless. Live bearers in general is just pointless because they're basically worthless. Even if you find somewhere that will take your guppies, you can go in and go, these are Hawaiian blue, Moscow, Dumbo ear, sword, metallic, cobra, whatevers. And I go, yeah, they're guppies. They're 10p each. A guppy is a guppy. It doesn't matter what colour it is, what shape fins it's got. They still all sell for $2.95 or $2.50. Same with platies. Same with swordtails, although I'm going to get a couple of female swordtails to pop back in there again after spaz at both the females. Mainly just as a big boy lonely, but also having baby swordtails. Now, having a live bearer that breeds does mean that if I've got empty tanks, I can just chuck a few baby live bearers in it and keep it cycled, keep things running. But even then, I don't bother about cycles. So that tank's not had anything in it for probably about a month or so. It's not had anything alive in it. There's a couple of trumpet snails, but we're not going to count those. Will I cycle it and whatever before I dump my baby plecos in there? No. They'll cycle it. Yeah, they'll produce enough waste. Spare tanks for necessity, put my teeth in. Yeah, but what I do have, now I've got spare tanks at the moment, but if all my tanks are full, I've got a couple of, no, I mean, that down there is literally just a plastic tote bin. It's been full of water for a year and a half. It ain't leaked yet. Spare tanks are scary. Yeah, there is always that temptation to put new fish into an empty tank. I've got a spare tank. I can get more fish. And something breeds, you know, where am I going to put these? Oh, bugger, if I hadn't got them, I'd have had a spare tank. Yeah, so I've got a couple of spare totes like that, which I can soon chuck a filter and a heater in and job done. Stick whatever fish it is in there. As I say, when it comes to putting fry into a tank or a quarantine tank that you're putting a couple of fish in for a week or two, I don't bother about cycles. Yeah, multiple tank syndrome. Yeah, or multi-tank addiction, or whichever you want to call it. But I don't think I've got to the point where if I want any more, now I'm going to have to get another rack, and I'm probably going to have to lose the coffee table, which is what the shrimp tank is sat on just down there. But if I want to breed more shrimp, then I'm going to have to do that so I can have multiple shrimp tanks. Are you still aquascaping down there? Are you? Let's say that is a 20 litres or so. 5-gallon shrimp tank. There's about 300 cherry shrimp in there. It's the more I sell, the quicker the smaller ones grow. You know, it's took long with you defrosting the peas. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a look at some tanks, shall we? Let's grab the Cami Rara. Excuse the particularly shoddy camera work and the close up on my face. So No, that way. So there we have the shelly dwellies, the Neolamprologus similis shell dwellers. Just trundling about, doing some aquascaping, getting ready to breed again. Yeah, so they aquascape their own tank. You can't aquascape a shell dweller tank. Now, although all those sort of ridges and mounds and holes there, I put that sand in level, and that all that gravel or lava rock was beneath the sand. You know, that's what they've done in there. They will literally pick up and move the shells. Oh dear, cat's in the fish. So here we are, empty tank, shell dweller overflow tank. Yeah, those were shell dwellers, yeah. Neolamprologus similis. Same as those. That one at the moment is the quarantine tank that's got the one remaining Praecox rainbow in it. Up here, if they're not hiding up, so there are 40 crebensis in there. There are some 60 odd bristlenose in there. As one comes up, this has an om on the glass. There we go. And another 40 to 60 in that one. Those ones are mostly long fins. The floofy boy. Who we got in here? So we got electric blue acara, big old swordtail, Praecox rainbow. Is there anyone else out and about? Oh, more Praecox rainbows. Yep. Clown loaches are hiding up somewhere. Oh. That little guy there, Spotty, he's fathered now probably about 1,000 baby bristlenoses. Okay. And tucked down there is the cherry shrimp tank. Careful with me angles. And there's the fish farm, the frugal flex. And around there somewhere there's another couple. Yes. And as usual, the camera's not going to refocus, so we'll cover it up, confuse it completely. And it still won't work as usual. Sometimes that does work. So we get out of frame, cover it up. Go on, focus. Focus, you. Go on, camera, you can do it. No, camera's playing silly buggers again. What is it with webcams and refusing to focus on stuff? It's probably because it's lighter behind me than it is in front of me. What this? There we go. We're focused now. So cherry shrimps are easy. They're actually fairly low maintenance as well. So not constantly cleaning out filters and changing water, unlike bristlenose plecos. Which is why if I am going to increase the amount of tanks, it's going to be shrimp tanks because it's easy to look after. Yeah, actually, betters is something I was thinking about earlier. Because I've seen a few posts on Facebook where people have got like a 10-gallon tank. Evening, Mr. Lamb, how are you? They've got like a 10-gallon tank and they're painstakingly cycling it to put a better in. Now it'll be planted, live plants, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking you're putting one better in that. You don't need to cycle it. As long as it's come up to temperature, just put the better in it. It'll be fine. It's not going to produce enough waste to worry about a cycle. You're going to be having to add food in for the plants. Because the plants are going to take everything up that better produces. I swear when I had Norman, well, Norman was in with cherry shrimp and Engelbert was in with nerite snails. It was the shrimp and the snails that kept the cycle, as it were, up and running, not the bell. They don't produce enough waste. So, which is why I don't worry about whether my fry tank's cycled or not, or my quarantine tank is cycled. I just put the bloody fish in there. It's the best and easiest way to do it is just start a tank up, stick a couple of fish in there, and then gradually increase the numbers. The cycle will occur on its own. And pond sludge is magical. Pond sludge is the best biomedia you can get. How do I know this? Because with the amount of stuff living in that pond, and it's not got any filters on it. Well, it has, but they're clagged up and they're just not running at the moment. They haven't been for quite some time. But it registers like 10 parts per million nitrate, and it's got 3 comets in there. God knows how many frogs, God knows how many snails, bugs, shrimps, beetles, bloodworms, birds bathe in it and poop in it, cats drink out of it and probably pee in it. Now all this, but the water parameters is no ammonia, no nitrite, and minimal nitrate. Yeah, 80,000. Yeah, I'm going to say that because there's bloody hundreds of snails in there. And we're not talking little, we're talking pond snails that are sort of 1.5 to 2 inches long on the shell. Evening, Big J. How the devil are you, sir? Yeah. So I know there's at least 20 frogs that come to my pond to breed every year, and the females stay. And that includes Big Frog. There's a reason she's called Big Frog. Because for a common English frog, she's huge. She's a big old girl. Poor boy hops on the back of her. He's really got his arms spread out trying to get a hold on. I actually got froglets as well, baby frogs this year as well. The comets didn't manage to eat all of the tadpoles and frog spawn, which tells me that the comets are finding other stuff to eat. Oh, pardon me, probably snails and pondweed. And whatever other bugs, flies, spiders, and God knows what falls in there. Yes, the water is a bit green. Yes, there is sludge on the bottom. Yes, there's some algae in there, but it's healthy. Everything's doing well. I mean, natural ponds and lakes don't have filters on them, and they're perfectly healthy. So, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the science is there for a reason, and there's good reasons for cycling tanks and doing all these things. but you have to think about why you're doing it, not just do it blindfolded. Like, this is how you do it. And the amount of times you'll see a post where someone has painstakingly fishless cycled their tank, and they put fish in it, and then the cycle's crashed instantly. Yeah, it's not exactly aesthetically pleasing, but I mean, the pond is the only place I can grow green water, so um, yeah. Yeah, it's good for the fish. They're comets, so you see them anyway. I mean, come winter time when there's no sunlight on that pond, all the green water dies, and you can see straight to the bottom of it anyway. It's what, 3 foot deep, 2.5, 3 foot deep, something like that. It comes past my knee if I stand in it. That's for sure. And yes, I was clever. Where I built it, the garden slopes away from the house, so it's not quite level, which means that when it floods, the water runs away from the house into the bungalow they built behind the house shortly after I built it. Nerd! Hey, there he is. It's Mr. Redfish Bluefish Jason himself. How the devil art thou? I hope all is well. Exactly. Green water is one of the best fry foods you can have. And I'm hearing a weird noise in the background, and I know exactly what it is. Instead of the steady stream of bubbles, I'm hearing a plop, 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 and it's gone silent. Plop, plop. What that is there's a nerite snail just crawled over the outlet from the sponge filter in the shrimp tank. Yeah. So green water, Jason will agree, green water is wonderful fry food. In fact, in addition to, I'm going to attempt to grow infusoria. I'm also going to see if I can grow green water. Literally just, when I do a water change, pour some water into a mason jar and stick it on the kitchen windowsill. See how long it takes to turn green. Good. Keep hanging. Keep hanging. Green water is made of people. No, that's Soylent Green is made of people. I do love that the people at Ripashi who name their foods have got a sense of humour, though. Calling one of them Soylent Green and one of them Morning Wood. Red Fush. Jason's been called worse than that. I call him a nerd every time I see him. That's not really an insult, though, because we are nerds. Although, I don't know. As an experiment for you, try throwing a body in a pond and see whether that affects the green water. I wonder how long it would take a bunch of comic or just goldfish to strip a body down to bone if you just threw it in a pond. Not as quick as piranhas, but piranhas won't survive outside here. Remember a tri-lamb. Nerd! And there's a movie reference that probably no one else is going to get. Lambda, 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 yes. The sorority from Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah. Actually, if it were, when I do lose all my hair, we're probably not going to look too dissimilar, Jason. That's kind of scary. Might change my name to Bluefish, Redfish, or Purple Fish. I was also tempted to go, if I do completely go bald, I'm going to have to grow I'm going to have to grow some kind of beard just so I can join in with John at KG, Chris at Multi-Tank Addiction, Jason at Prime Time. Just be the lineup of beard tubers. But I won't be using beard oils or anything like that. At the most, I just use whatever shampoo I'd use on my head. I'm not that posh. The Hulk Hogan. Yeah, nah, wouldn't work for me. And make a move, pure death of bullies. Yes. I did use it almost kind of semi have the Hulk Hogan. I had the tash that came around, but then I had the full goatee that went down to about there. Hence how I used to look like a cross between Rob Zombie and Kevin Smith. So, or Silent Bob if you don't know Kevin Smith. Except I used to wear my baseball cap the right way round to keep the sun out of my eyes, or the rain off, which in England is more likely. I understand in sunny climes, when you're used to bright light, having it around the back so it shades the back of your neck so it doesn't go red. But it's weird. People put a hat on back to front, but they don't put their t-shirt or their trousers on back to front, or pants, sorry. As most people here, I believe, are American. Is it wrong that we speak the same language, but I'm translating English into American? Or American into English? So, I mean, obviously in the UK, we get a lot of American culture with the films, the TV shows, and what have you. So we learn the various different words that Americans would use to describe something. No. Hood, bonnet, pants, trousers, aluminium. But I'm not entirely sure if it goes the other way, where America gets enough English culture to get those kind of things. Yeah. So sometimes it pays to translate these things. Lorries and trucks, yeah. So I mean, over here, a semi means something completely different. Or a semi. But yeah, a semi means something completely different in England and Europe. It doesn't mean an articulated lorry. It means mini-me is waking up. You nurse a semi in the UK. You don't take it in for a service. Yeah. Let's see. Someone says truck to me. I instantly go to goods vehicle, not pickup. No, we'd call it a pickup. Semi windsock, exactly. Little head is awake. Yeah. the head that so many men think with and get themselves into trouble. I'm so glad that the two very rarely communicate. It's but yeah, given the medication I'm on, little head stays asleep most of the time. There's very little tent pitching going on lately. I'd rather that than the alternative at the moment. Because yeah, mental health, be aware. A broken mind needs fixing just as much as a broken leg does. Yeah, you've been a good girl, Marit, exactly. Sometimes you got to let your naughty side out, though. Sometimes you got to be bad. No painting a St. George's cross on your chest, though, okay? I'm sure there's plenty out there tonight who've done that. And when England win, they're going to flash everyone in the pub. This is it. I say it as I see it. Yeah, I'm never one to truck with being all delicate or dodging the point. I was talking with some people the other day. Oh dear. And I was saying that no, you can't call someone nuts or crazy or whatever. What? Because I called someone a nutter. Someone who I know who does suffer from some of the same things I suffer with. And someone else who doesn't took offence at me calling that person a nutter. I call myself a nutter. Yeah, and that's it. Sometimes it takes drugs to keep moving forward or just not go backwards. We're all nuts, exactly. So to me, it's no different to me calling someone Four Eyes or Specky. Yeah, I'm nuts. I accept that fact. And unfortunately, I do have a phone in range. Thankfully, I've got Messenger shut down on my computer at the moment. Oh dear. Oh dear. That reminds me, I've got to sort my climbing gear out. Either that or get in my X-wing and go flying down a trench. Thank you, Marit. Made my day. Yeah, so I've been nuts pretty much most of my life, so I'm used to it. For those who are still here that don't know, I've been suffering with depression and anxiety since my teenage years, early teens. There's a couple of other things going on in the background as well, which I'm not as open about, but they're there. And yeah, it's very, very difficult to try and explain these things to someone who hasn't suffered. We've all had an injury. We all know how much something hurts when you injure yourself. So we can all easily sympathise or go, yeah, I know, oh yeah, when someone breaks a leg or whatever. When someone breaks their brain or their brain breaks itself, which is what generally happens, if you haven't experienced it, you've got no, you've got no base to go from. Because if you've not been at the point where, I'm sorry we're going a bit dark here, but these things have to be said. But if you've not been at the point where you wake up in the morning and you wonder whether today is the day that you're going to top yourself, is there any point in me living? No. Do I want to deal with this pain, this misery, this darkness, this anger, this hatred? And it is the human mind attacking the human mind. It is your brain attacking itself. You just, God, I completely understand why some people can't deal with it, can't cope with it, and go for the ultimate solution. Been there, done that. I mean, I'll be blatantly honest. That's just not just double chin. That is a scar. It's and it does come to a point where you need help. You need to see a doctor. You need medication. Just the same as if you've got a physical trauma. You've got a mental trauma. It's the same thing. It's an injury. I know you know the feeling, Marrett. But big hugs. Actually, be down there. You're only little. It's if you've not been there, it's very difficult to understand. And even if you have been there, it's different for everyone. Same as again with physical injuries, we've all got different pain thresholds. And a broken bone is a lot easier to heal. Yeah, you're right there, Marrett. I mean, I can break a bone and barely notice it. I know other people who've broken a finger for the first time and they're in screaming agony. I've got used to that. I've also got used to being depressed. I've accepted now. I just operate on a lower level than most people. Yeah, don't let the demons beat you. Yeah. I've got coping solutions, coping strategies that I've developed over the years, but I realized that my coping strategies that I've developed are really unhealthy. So now I'm talking to the right people and getting healthy coping strategies in place, because my way of coping has been stick the walls up, block everything out, switch off the emotions, and sit in the safe place. And my safe space isn't pink and fluffy. It's black, spiky, and evil. And that's not good for anyone. So, yeah, when you find someone you can talk to who can understand, and you don't even need to say it, because it's so difficult putting these things into words, because it's not part of our normal speech pattern. Some all right, how you doing? You go, yeah, not too bad. Elbows giving me a bit of jip. It's a bit sore today. That one's easy. So how are you? Yeah, my brain's and I mean, to anyone who hasn't suffered, and I hope you don't. If you want to learn how to not just talk to or deal with, but be around someone who is suffering, listen to How's the Heart by Nightwish. Doesn't matter if you don't like the kind of music, listen to the acoustic version because it's beautiful. But the lyrics to that song, Tuomas Holopainen deserves a bloody Nobel Prize for that one, because it explains exactly how to do it. Just to be there. No, if someone's either literally or metaphorically sitting on the edge of the cliff, just sit with them. You don't have to have a conversation, you don't have to talk. Just knowing that someone is there. Having someone who will catch you when you fall. Let us ramble, because when we get on the subject, we can run on for hours. Marit stopped me having a complete freak out on the bus. It was earlier this year when I had my bad episode. I was suffering from anxiety at the same time as well, which really doesn't help. It's not a good combination. And I was on the bus on my way home from the LFS. I'd bussed up there. Okay, just about managed that. Had a bit of a break, chill, quiet moment, go into the LFS. Well, not LFS, because it's not, the fish shop. And I know the people who work there, and it was empty, but it was still a bit stressful. You put those two together, and then I got on the bus to come home, and the bus was pretty full. Knowing that I could just send Marit a message, basically saying help. Having that someone there. I know I could have texted Mary, but Mary's not dealt with the issues before. Marit has, so knows. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that, because I'm sure she'll say if she doesn't. But knowing that you've got that person there that you can confide in, well, not even confide, someone who understands that you can converse with, or just that can take you down from the edge. And thank you. You got me all the way home without completely losing it and going nuts and having to get off the bus somewhere in the middle of nowhere and walk, which would probably have killed the fish. It weren't exactly warm that day. Yeah. I was sat there basically having a full-blown panic attack. And, we literally just talked about fish on the phone. Yeah, just via messenger. And that gave me something to concentrate on, something to think about, other than freaking out. I'm over it, as it were. It's still going to be there forever, but it's it's like I'm acting now. Do I seem depressed? Probably not, but is that medication? Am I over it? Am I better? No. You don't get better, it's always there. Yeah, it doesn't take much. Just to be is. And sometimes just leaving people the hell alone. Just being there if and when you're needed. Not constantly, are you okay? How are you today? Are you all right? Yeah, we've helped each other out. We're both nuts. We're all nuts in some way or another. I don't think there's anyone who is normal. The normal person is probably the least normal of the lot of us. We've all got issues, hang-ups, problems. Exactly. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. Like, even if, because I will hold my hand up. I don't necessarily pick up the phone straight away. It pings. Most of the time, it's either just a random notification or I'm asleep, because I do a lot of sleeping during the day because I don't sleep much at night. I say anyone, and I mean anyone here, if you want, I'm here. Right? It's that simple. A fish fam, model fam, whatever. We all help each other out. There's other people I've talked to, either to help them or they help me, or it just is a thing. Just take our minds off of it, especially panic attacks. Is literally just take the person's mind off of what is causing the panic attack. Even as just sending weird memes or down blouse pictures, well, that might not work so much if you send women. I think if a woman's freaking out and I go click send, that's probably not going to help at all. But as long as it helps, who cares? As long as it helps and it doesn't hurt anyone. I'm a massive flirt and a tart. Does it mean anything? Usually, not really. Has it got me in trouble? Yes. It's spelt the end of a couple of relationships. Right. If the person you're with can't take you having a bit of a joke and a flirt with someone else, then you're not meant to be with them. I'm getting there. It's a long, slow journey. I mean, you can drop down the hill real fast. It takes a long time to get back up it again. I'm to the point now where I think I'll be okay starting to look for another job, because given how long it normally takes me to find one, I'll be fine by the time I do. I'm definitely not going full time. Yeah, the downhill's the easy part. Imagine if you went skiing but they didn't have ski lifts. Skiing down is easy. Getting back up without a ski lift is a nightmare. And they don't make a ski lift for the human mind. And unlike things like antibiotics or antivirals or vaccines or splints and casts or bandages or band-aids, they don't make anything that cures the human mind. It has to cure itself. I can give you things that sort other stuff out, make things easier. Game time, enjoy your football, Marriott. I may stick it on for a bit, see if I can stay awake. The last one I watched was the Scotland match. That was just a nightmare. And have a good week, Martin. Again, you know I'm here for you if you want me. Yeah, snuggly hugs. Snuggly hugs are always, they're the best hugs. So now I've had a good rant for about 20 minutes about mental health. If there's anyone left and they've got any questions they'd like to ask or things they'd like to talk about, feel free. Anything I recommend, store model tools. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest what I do, which is just leave them in a big pile on the bench. What have I got? I mean, for things like sanders and whatever, and paintbrushes, I've got a couple of those little wheelie bins. Little, I think they're supposed to hold pencils and pens. Bigger tools, probably a fishing tackle box, to be honest, rather than an actual toolbox. A small fishing tackle box would probably do the trick. Yeah, I've watched 22 grown men kick a bag of wind about. Exactly. Have a good one, Richie. Don't relax too hard. Can't find snipper covers. Yeah. Although the thing with snippers, that's one of those things you just leave them on the bench. If you put them away, you can guarantee you'll need them again in 5 minutes. So yeah, I definitely just leave those sitting on the bench, somewhere they're not going to fall on the floor. As I say, my general storage thing is they always just sit on the bench in various, I would say various piles, but it's one big pile generally. Of the sanders I normally use, the brushes I normally use, Tammy drill. I don't know. It all depends. Just look at and measure them. Most tackle boxes, they'll give you the measurements of it. He says, trying to think what size his tackle box is. He says, and then he goes, yeah, which one? I've got a seat box, a tackle box, or double tray tackle box, single tray tackle box, whole bunch of other boxes. I mean, the amount of boxes I used to take when I did go fishing was ludicrous. Because I had a box with the main big tackle in, I had the hook box, the float box, the rig box, brushes in a big hot dog glass. Yeah, perfect. Mine are actually in a mug. Still get whiffs of hot dog. Yeah, there are worse smells than one you build in your bedroom. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, my man cave can smell as bad as it likes. I can just shut the door. God knows what smells coming out of there some days, and that's just me, let alone what I'm working on. Yeah, well, I would say get the old modeler brain. I mean, a sewing box might work. Because the tools you use for sewing are fairly similar size to the ones you use for modelling. Now he's got a bit in there for knitting needles, and your brushes will fit in there perfectly. Yeah. And sewing boxes tend to be a lot nicer to look at than fishing tackle boxes or tool boxes. Oh, pardon me. Where's that poop emoji when you need it? Yeah. I mean, if I ran through all the bloody fishing gear I've got, ye gods, you don't want to know. And if I actually move it, I'll be able to get into the cave. I'll move more stuff up there, and then have more room down here for fish tanks. Obviously, I can't put fish tanks in the cave. yeah, it's because I don't have to tidy my modelling gear away. It just sits and gathers dust and rust and muck and mire and paint and glue splats and God knows what. But that's what I am gonna at some point have to go through all my brushes and chuck out the bad ones. You spray with hot top. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. If the China sellers are selling it for 500, they're probably out of stock. Yeah, you're a bit OCD, unlike me. Well, I mean, technically, it's all organised. I know where it all is. It's in that pile. Oh, geez. Anyone who's actually seen my modelling workbench will know what I mean. I mean, if you imagine going into a model shop, Michael's, a Hobby Lobby, whatever, or Andy's Hobby Headquarters, just a model shop, and setting off a bomb in there, that's pretty much what my workbench looks like. If someone came in to burgle it, it would look tidier afterwards. Even my ghost daren't go in there. Although saying that, I actually noticed that my scalpel is on my bathroom shelf at the moment for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, it's because I got bitten by something the other day and it went nasty. So to get the gunk out. Yeah, the pipe out on the top rather than the back. Yeah, does save a lot of space. Oh, pardon me again. Oh, and again. I don't even have a spray booth. My spray booth is, if this is the bench, the spray booth is spray it under the bench. My bench has got clean washing on it. Come out, putting it away. Yeah, I've got a chair in my bedroom for that. It comes out of the washing machine, goes in the airing cupboard, or hangs up to dry, usually in the airing cupboard, and then comes out there and gets chucked onto the seat or the chair. And every so often I get around to tidying it up and putting it away because it's like, where the heck's that t-shirt? Why have I run out of boxer shorts? That kind of thing. It's starting to get loud outside, so I'm guessing the football's kicked off. Well, we've still got 8 people left. But I'll say, my time is up. I need some food. I need a wee. So thank you everyone for showing up and not all disappearing when I went onto a mental health rant. We shall try and find something a bit happier to talk about next week. Maybe something will happen. Maybe I'll have some baby fish. Or maybe I'll have gone and bought some more fish. Or something else might happen. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Most appreciated. And for the likes, blah, blah, blah. Have a good week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. It's going Rome. It's going.